Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie. And today we are so excited to do another installment of trying to taper down our TBR. It's a bit of a beast. I'm not going to lie, but I think that we have to do a PSA before we get started and say we really tried. It's my fault. So we're just gonna, if there's blame to be had, it was me.
You know what? I would disagree with you if it weren't 100% true.
Yeah. Well, thanks for inserting that in there. You know, we had a good run. I went maybe like 2 weeks without purchasing anything.
I went 3.
Yeah, you went 3. And like, honestly, it's pretty good for us.
It is. Sadly, it's true.
Sadly, it's true. I couldn't help myself. Too many good stories have been coming out. And once you like start putting those coins into different platforms, I mean, you just keep doing it.
Yeah.
You're like, I got to buy this story. And then you run out of coins. And then you just don't think about it.
The problem is they make it too easy to purchase coins.
Yeah. So really the PSA is...
Be careful.
Be careful out there. It's a lawless land. And we have indeed bought more things since the buy freeze. But we're still focused on reading the things that we own. We just have more things that we own now.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It works out. It evens out. We're really just supporting our goals of reading things we own by buying more things we own.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about some of the stories we've been reading from our TBR that we've purchased so that we can start dwindling that list down and feel like, you know, we have a little bit more sustainable of a list going for us. So Alex, go ahead and start us out.
All right. So starting off strong, I'm starting off with Leaves Dancing on a Melody. This is a completed series on Leeson. It's a short one, so it was like a really quick read, 21 episodes. It's a boy love, first love, campus, like pretty playboy.
Yeah.
And I adored this one. I just have to start off and say, we all know I love a chibi. It's my absolute favorite. This has some of the best chibis ever.
Yeah.
Because Ipsy is like, I mean, he's the one who's just like a rich playboy, kind of clueless, like a little, not a complete airhead, but just a little spacey.
Yeah.
I would say. And he just skips through life as the cutest little chibi ever.
Yeah.
And I am living for it.
Ipsy is adorable.
He's so adorable. And
he's like a little grumpy, spoiled brat, and I love it.
He is. And he looks like when it's the normal drawing style, he almost looks a little like kittenish, you know,
yeah.
with the eyes.
Mm-hmm. I could see it.
So I loved this one. This is, as I said, about Ipsy Soul, and he is a senior at college. He is really just trying to go to college because his father was like, hey, I know we're rich, but you have to not be lazy and you have to get a degree in something because your siblings all did and they're better than you.
You know how your dad talks to you?
You know how you talk to your least favorite kid? I don't know. Maybe it's the favorite though because they treat him the same even though he doesn't aspire like the rest of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have siblings. I don't understand how those things work.
Oh, yeah. I mean, parents don't always have favorites.
Yeah.
I don't have favorites.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are parents who probably do.
Yeah.
And shame.
Parents?
I think they have a least favorite. And I'm pretty sure she has a podcast where she talks about gay smut.
Well, you're my favorite.
Oh, thanks. I'm just the trouble child. They love me.
Yeah.
I'm loved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a trouble child.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same. Maybe I like relate with Ipsy.
Yeah.
We're both kind of brats.
Yeah. Yeah. Ipsy's definitely a brat.
Yeah.
And he needs to just get past this class. He doesn't actually care about his grade. He just wants to not fail so that he doesn't fail out of school.
Yeah.
And the professor of this class says, I heard that my class was really easy, so I'm actually going to make it harder this semester. Which, I mean, dick move, professor.
Dick move, professor. What the hell? No one asked for this.
Yeah. Like, maybe they were saying they enjoyed your class.
Yeah. They were like, oh, it doesn't feel like work. Because we just enjoyed it so much.
And then they go and add a bunch of BS by saying, okay, we're going to now take attendance. You have this huge group project. So they all get put into a group project. And Ipsey is paired up with one of his fellow underclassmen named Hanum. And Hanum is pretty studious. He cares about his grades. He cares about his performance and everything. And he's also, like, pretty morally upstanding, I would say. Like, he sees something wrong and he stands up for it. Not everyone does that, so good on him.
He's a good kid.
He is. And so...
He's a good kid. He's like 20-something.
Yeah, he is. He's a good college kid.
Good college kid.
So they're in these groups, and Ipsey, they're introducing themselves, and Ipsey says, you know, like, I'm just here because I have to be. I need to pass, so, like, I don't really care that much, but I guess I'll be here. And Hanum is like, are you proud of that? And so then they just kind of go on. After class, Ipsey walks out, and he sees an old hookup buddy of his. And this guy is a little bit obsessed. He goes up to Ipsey, and he's like, hey, I think that, like, we should continue to be hookup buddies, and I just really like you, and I actually would, like, really like to date if we could just be together. And Ipsey is not having it. He's like, no, I actually like someone else. And the first person he sees is Hanum. So then he runs up to Hanum, kisses Hanum, and Hanum is like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm.
So then they kind of just go on their way a little bit, and we start to see them interact more. And throughout their interactions, like, Ipsey keeps kind of talking to Hanum and then, like, backing off a little bit. And Hanum is starting to get feelings for Ipsey, and just, like, super, super adorable guy. He's just the absolute sweetest. And so he's worried about Ipsey's grade as well. He's like, he's not showing up to class regularly. Like, I need to make sure he shows up.
Yeah.
And so he goes and, like, hunts him down at a club.
Mm-hmm.
And Ipsey at this club is being accosted by another one of his hookup buddies from the past, who is saying, like, hey, you have to come with me. And Ipsey is like, no, I don't. And Hanum actually steps in and comes to his defense and is like, hey, get away from him. But Ipsey gets annoyed with both of them. He's like, okay, everyone leave me alone.
Yeah.
And he ends up breaking Hanum's glasses. And then he's like, oh, I didn't mean to do that.
He's like, that was a little harsh.
That was a little harsh. So they end up going to get dinner together. And here we find out that Hanum is not just a bit of a lightweight, but can't handle alcohol at all. He has, like, 2 sips of a beer and then is, like, blackout.
Mm-hmm.
Not blackout, but he's, like, loose and feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
And so then he just starts, because we all know, if you have had alcohol before, you know, that it kind of loosens the lips a little bit. You start saying things you maybe wouldn't say normally.
Yeah.
And so Hanum just starts confessing that he likes Ipsey, and Ipsey eventually is like, all right, okay, you like me, so, like, yeah, okay, we can hook up. And Hanum kind of takes the lead, and they hook up, and Ipsey's like, oh, this was great. Like, I had a really good time. But then, because he's a spoiled playboy, he's not used to being in a relationship, he kind of pushes Hanum away and starts avoiding him. And this makes Hanum really upset, because he's like, I thought what we had was special. And it was.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. But Ipsey didn't know it yet. So he starts hunting down Ipsey, and Ipsey finally talks to him. And Hanum is just, like, in tears. He's so sad. And Ipsey is like, I really like that you're crying. I am attracted to you more now that you're crying. So
now that I'm seeing your true feelings out on the table.
Yeah, so then after a while, a lot of this, like, back and forth, Ipsey finally agrees that they can be boyfriends. And so they're still going back and forth, just kind of, like, hanging out, trying to figure out their relationship. And Hanum is concerned that Ipsey only likes him for his body. Mm-hmm. And is like, are you just using me because you really like my body and you don't actually like my personality? And then Ipsey, being the kind of tsundere that he is like, no, you stupid idiot. I think you're great and you're adorable and I love you and you have a great personality. And
but, like, in a mean way.
Yeah. And it's super, super cute. And then I've essentially said the whole story, so I'm just going to say the ending at this point.
Yeah.
We have a time hop forward, and it goes forward a couple of years. They're now working. We see them meeting up after work, and Ipsey goes to get drinks for them, and drinks and snacks. And as he's returning, he sees Hanum talking to a girl, and he gets, like, super jealous. Mm-hmm. And he starts throwing a little bit of a hissy fit. And... yeah. Then when he goes to confront Hanum about this, Hanum is like, oh, that's really funny because actually that girl was asking if I knew if you were dating anyone. So, like, what should I tell her? Even though they've been dating for years at this point, which I get.
Yeah. Should I tell her you're free tonight or...
So then there's, like, a little bit of a reverse jealousy moment where then Hanum is jealous now because... Ipsey still gets all this attention because he's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, they're just sitting on this little bench, and Hanum is like, I got you these couples rings. And so they put the couples rings on each other, and then they're just absolutely in love and gonna be happy for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, because we decided it.
It's adorable. Yeah. I love this one. It was absolutely worth the read. It's just so cute. I love both the main characters. I mean, you just have, like, the adorable sweet puppy and the black cat.
Yeah.
Who loves you but is still gonna swipe at you a little bit.
Yeah. It's perfect.
It's so cute.
It's the best dynamic. I'm so glad you read this one. I know that I've talked about it previously, very briefly.
Yeah.
Mostly to try to convince you to read it. So I just feel like I achieved my goals. If no successes come out of today, I have this one at least.
That was... starting off strong.
However, we do have a bunch more successes because one of the stories that I purchased, and again, we do this mostly blind. Like, we read a description. Sometimes we don't even read a description. We're just like, that art's pretty. Yep. I'm going to read it. But this one I bought because the cover literally just drew me in. It's like all black and white and then pops of red. And I was like, I do love when people do that. I wonder if there's like a reason for it. This story is called At the End of Death. It's a BL thriller on Leeson, and it's ongoing with 49 episodes. I'm going to put in just a little aside. This story does have several trigger warnings. So if you aren't okay with self-harm or suicide, it does have depictions of it. And I would feel free to steer clear of that one. Also, you can steer clear of my description. I'm going to try to be pretty vague, but it'll be in there. This story revolves around June. He is in a bit of a precarious situation in the beginning of the story. He wakes up and he is tied down to a surgical table. He's entirely naked, tied down to the surgical table. There's like a towel covering his privates, but like he's entirely exposed. His head is strapped down. He can't really move. He's looking around and trying to get a feel for his surroundings, and there's no way to do it.
A terrifying start.
Terrifying start. And you see that a man does walk in dressed up as a surgeon, and he starts putting eye drops in his eyes. He's asking him what he can see, if he can, hear everything. Can he smell everything properly? And June is really confused. And he's like, no, I don't smell anything. Like, where am I? Who are you? What's going on? And the man gives him nothing. The man's like, might be too early for smell. And he's like making notes in this notebook. Mm-hmm. And then June is like, wait, come back, give me more information. And the man just walks away and turns the lights off. So he's strapped to this bed still. And he's entirely in like just this blackout, trying to pay attention to all of his senses because now he can't use his sight. So he's trying to figure out what's going on. And he's really deep in thought. He's trying to think back of like, how did I get in this situation? I don't really remember much of anything. And he starts thinking hard enough and he goes, oh, I remember now what was going on before this happened. And he had killed himself.
Yeah.
So not only is this a precarious situation that he's in, but now he's confused as to how he's alive and how he got here. Because last he checked, he wasn't here anymore. So the next day, the lights turn back on. The same surgeon comes back in, face coverings. He checks all of the same things. Can you smell? Can you see stuff? And June is getting some of his senses back. He's like, something smells like rotten. Like, I just don't like it. And he goes, oh, yeah, so you are smelling. And he's like checking things off. And then the surgeon kind of like brings out all of these tools. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to like do some work. Don't worry, you won't feel anything. And he takes out a scalpel. And so when he goes to cut into June's stomach, June is screaming. He's like, please call the police, help me. You know, I mean, like anybody would in that situation. And the guy goes, look, I get that you're freaking out, but like you don't have any chance of getting help here. And also, like, I don't even know if you know what's going on, but like, I promise you, you're not going to feel pain. And June goes, I know I was dead. How did you bring me back to life? And he goes, you're not really alive. Like, have you ever read Frankenstein? He's like, you're more like my little experiment kind of a thing. And he goes, but you know, it's fine. And he goes, so are you harvesting my organs? And he's like, no, I'm doing the opposite. The rotting smell you're smelling is some of your organs going bad, and I'm giving you new ones.
Okay.
And June is like, why? And obviously he's still freaking out. He's like, don't touch me. And he goes, maybe it'd just be better if you put me to sleep. Like, if you're not going to agree to give me more information and you're not going to value the fact that I'm in pain, which he's not because he can't feel anything, then he's like, just put me to sleep. So he does. And after the surgery, the man, you know, gives him this button and the little note, and it says, ring this when you wake up. So June presses the button, and now they kind of form this like ongoing routine. You can see that June has a giant scar from where the organ replacement happened. And, you know, this random man is like helping him up the stairs to get a shower. And he's like, oh, don't get the stitches wet. And they form just like this weird friendship through it all. So June introduces himself, you know, he's saying everything he remembers. And he's like, you know, can you introduce yourself? You look really familiar. Like, I've seen you somewhere. And the guy is like, yeah, I've heard that's pretty common when this happens. Like, it's common when you can't remember all of your past to start taking some of your present memories and try to fill in gaps. Mm-hmm. And he's like, so like, we don't know each other, but you know, I can understand why you think you know me. And June is like, yeah, I mean, I guess all I've known since waking up now is this like laboratory room, some of the upstairs of this house, and now this crazy surgeon. But the surgeon introduces himself as Silon, and he is Russian. And June also takes note because he says that he's albino. So he has really fair skin, really fair hair, and bright red eyes. And June is just like, he's striking. Like, he looks terrifying, you know, with a surgical mask when you're tied to a table. But he gets to know Silon a little bit more on like a surface level. And he's like, this is actually not so bad. Like, he makes food. We sit down together. I don't eat because my digestive system doesn't work. But, you know, like, we've found a little sense of normalcy. And every night he gives me a little peck on the forehead and gives me a goodnight kiss. He's like, and I kind of don't mind it. So Silon does, you know, go out to do other things. And he's like, you know, June, just stay here. You don't have anything to really do, but I mean, you're not going to have anything to do out there. And you learn that they're in the middle of the desert in Nevada. So there really is nowhere to go. But June is getting bored. And he's also still like, look, I get that Silon's being nice to me, but these circumstances are less than ideal. I think I need to find help. Like, I need to do something. So he tries to run away while Silon leaves. He says he has to go do a delivery. He leaves in this giant truck. And June is like, okay, now's my chance. I gotta go. So he goes to run. There's nowhere. He's running like through the sand, gets to a road, and it's entirely deserted. And he finally sees a car coming down the road, but it's June. Or it's Silon, sorry. So he sees Silon coming back in the truck, and Silon's like, ooh, this is awkward. I'm gonna have to get you back in the house. And he shoots him with a tranquilizer gun. So he passes out and he carries him back in. But as soon as June wakes up, he just has this panic and he confronts Silon about it. He goes, I made the choice in my life before to end it, and I never asked to come back. And he's like, I don't know why you're putting me in this situation. Like, nothing about my situation has changed. If anything, it's worse because now the only people I would have left for me think that I'm dead. Mm-hmm. And he starts just having a panic. And in that moment, you see Silon's eyes like burst open and he presses his ear to June's chest and his heart starts beating again. And that's where I'm going to leave off. I don't want to give too much information, but this one is so good at piecing together all of the mysteries little by little by little. The first season is almost entirely from June's perspective, so you're really discovering everything as you go with him, and it's just perfect. I love this story.
I'm so excited to read this one. I know that the reason you're dropping off there is so that you don't spoil anything.
I know.
And I'm just super excited because I love a good thriller and I see how excited you are about this story. So I just can't wait for you to be able to talk about it more.
If anyone has read this, send us an email. I will talk with you back and forth about this because I want friends.
But say clearly what it's about so I don't accidentally read it.
Yeah, be like, spoilers, not for Alex.
Okay, so I have another continuation of a story for you. The next one that I'm talking about is A Need. So this I got on our reading roulette, and I have continued to read this one.
That's good.
So I own the first 3 volumes, and during our relapse.
During our buy freeze relapse.
During our buy freeze relapse. During the buy freeze, I have since pre-ordered the 4th one, or special ordered the 4th one
as
from
you
our
should.
bookstore. And so where I left off last time, Seth was he's, as a reminder, the god of war and the god of the desert. And he had just been brought to trial for all of his crimes against humanity. It was a very long list. And so now they're having this trial. All the gods are going back and forth. Ra, the god of the sun, is just kind of letting everything happen and unfold as is. And everyone's kind of mad that she's not really taking charge of anything. But then you hear more about the backstory, and actually Osiris is the one who overtook the throne from Ra. So Ra is just kind of like, I just want to see what happens.
Yeah.
And so things are going on. We see Horus come out, and Iris is Horus's mother and Osiris's wife. So Horus is the son of Osiris and Isis. And Isis is saying that Horus is actually the rightful ruler of Egypt because he is the son of Osiris, who was the previous ruler who was murdered and then the throne was overtaken. Now, Seth is like, I don't think that he's even a god. I don't think that he's Osiris's child because Osiris is dead. So how could he have a child? Osiris then comes back from the dead to say, yes, he is my child.
And then he just dies again? No.
and then he goes away.
Look at me.
So because Horus is rightfully claimed as being the child of 2 gods, he's not a god himself because he was never able to grow into his full god form. So he's considered like a demigod at this point.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't have like the same powers and abilities as all of the rest of the gods. And so instead of just condemning Seth and saying like, no, you're not, because they're all kind of scared of him because he's the god of war. And they say, okay, we're going to have 3 challenges, and whoever wins these challenges will be the rightful ruler of Egypt.
Okay.
And at first, Seth is like, no, I don't want to do that because you guys are all wrong and I'm the rightful ruler anyway, and like nothing you can say can change that. And they kind of convince him because they're like, all right, look, you know we're just going to keep bugging you about this. So if you do this and you win, like we just will leave you alone.
So if we're being like really annoying and you do this, we'll stop.
Yeah, pretty much. And so he agrees to it, and then they start the challenges. The challenges are set up to put Seth at a disadvantage. And you find that out pretty quickly. The first challenge is a breath holding contest. And even though Horus can't hold his breath because he's not a god underwater, I mean, he could, you know, the normal amount that a human could. But he is given powers by another god to be able to hold his breath underwater for a longer time. And Seth is the god of the desert, and the desert and the water don't really mix well together. And he does end up taking his sand underwater and is able to like maneuver maneuver it around and turn it into snakes and keeps attacking Horus. And so he does beat Horus on this first one. So Seth wins the first one.
But it's obvious he's being set up for failure.
Yeah, he is. And you don't really know, like, who is doing it, who's setting the challenges or anything. It kind of seems like it's just the whole Aeneid is setting him up for failure, probably because they don't want him to win.
Yeah.
But he is extremely strong, so it's still hard to defeat him.
Yeah.
And so then after this first challenge, we have Hathor, who is the favorite daughter of Ra. And she is kind of trying to make the moves on Horus because she's like, look, I have this lucky mirror. And it doesn't actually shine like a mirror, but I'm going to give it to you for good luck. So she gives him the mirror. And he starts looking into it. He is unsure if it's like a trick or a trap or actually a good luck charm. And so he starts looking in it and he sees Nephthys in the mirror. And when he sees her face in the mirror, he gets drawn in to where she is. And in the beginning of the first book, you see Nephthys is locked away somewhere, but it's not said who she is or how she got there or why she's there at all. And so now Horus is talking to her and figures out that she has been trapped in this mirror and there is someone who is out in the world impersonating her. She's like, I'm the real Nephthys. There's another Nephthys up there. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
But I'm here and I'm trapped. And so Horus is like, okay, am I also stuck here? What's going on? But he's able to get out of the mirror, but he's like trying to figure out like what's happening there.
Yeah.
We see some backstory too with Seth and his son Anubis. And it's like you really get, I love Aeneid so far. I mean, this to me is one of my favorite types of stories because it's just so complex. Seth is not really a great guy, but you really feel for him because they give you like the backstory and you see his relationship with his son and how much he loved Anubis. And he ends up having to punish Anubis and he punishes Nephthys as well, who's his wife. And Anubis sees this as like betrayal. And so he then turns around and betrays Seth, his father. And he helps Horus cheat in the second trial. So the second trial is a stone boat race. So you have to make a boat out of stone, race it across the water. Seth is able to do it with his magic. And Horus doesn't have that. So he would have to create the boat by himself. Anubis was given a boat, a stone boat, by Seth previously. And Seth is like, here, have my stone boat. It's going to be at the end of the race. So you make a boat out of wood. And then once you get across, just get to the stone boat. And then people will not know that you cheated. And it works. Seth does land on Horus's boat. And then so he tells everyone, like, you cheated. That was not a stone boat. But then when they go and inspect the boat, it's a different boat. So it is a stone boat. So people don't believe Seth that he was cheated. So Horus is declared the winner of the second one. So now we're neck and neck.
Yeah.
And then we see that Sekhmet is the god of destruction and really brings a lot of chaos to everything. Just starts going and like whispering in Seth's ear and telling him he needs to go and confront Horus about this and he knows what to do. And so he goes in and tries to attack Horus. Horus ends up attacking him back and kind of defeating him. And then Sekhmet goes to talk to Horus as well. And this is where you find out that Osiris, before he died, grabbed some of Seth's sand because he's the god of the desert and planted seeds of doubt in Seth. So he is like really internally struggling. Seth has been told by Osiris that he is unworthy of being a god, that he's weak, and that the only reason that he has any power at all is because Osiris gave him the desert.
Yeah.
Because he felt bad for him. And so he originally was called the protector of Egypt and then eventually became the god of war from this. But he's really struggling with like trying to...
His identity.
Yeah, like trying to be his own person. Osiris also tells him, hey, by the way, your wife, Nephthys, doesn't love you. She actually loves me. And you find out that Anubis is not really Seth's child. It's Osiris and Nephthys' child. But Seth like loves him and raised him and everything, and then Anubis turned against him still. And so it's just like very tragic, very mythology.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like all mythology has this kind of element to it where you just have all of these different tragic backstories. Everything is so interwoven and connected, and all of the characters have good and bad things that you could say about them.
They have a lot of depth.
Yeah. And so where it's left off in the end of book 3, you can see that Sekhmet is trying to convince Horus to use this information that he's just found out about Seth's doubts against him to win. And Horus is like already feeling very conflicted. He's like, I don't want to cheat. I feel like that makes me a weaker god. Like it would make me weaker if I have to cheat to beat him.
Yeah. He's not like, man, I'd really hate to kick a man while he's down.
Yeah. So he's just like really conflicted about what to do.
Yeah.
And so I guess we'll see where it goes, if he does continue to cheat or not.
Do you have a hint, like a prediction you want to put in?
So I think that he probably will, and he's going to win, but then he's going to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
That's my guess. I love this one so much. I'm definitely going to keep reading this. I have really put myself in a pickle here because I'm already committed to buying 2 separate versions of Lore Olympus hardcover editions, the regular and the Barnes & Noble exclusive covers.
Yeah, you're in deep with that one.
Yeah. I have now committed myself to buying the hardcover Aeneid versions as well. And so I have 3 books right now. That equates to 36 episodes of the story out of 189. And it's an ongoing story. So I'm sorry.
I love your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
I don't think you're going to regret it, though. I do think...
Oh, my gosh. I mean, they're just gorgeous. They're gorgeous books.
Yeah. It was, like, cherry-picked for you, honestly.
It really was. Like, this is my absolute favorite type of story, and I love everything about it.
Well, I love that you adore this story. I'm super excited to talk about my last one today, which I also adore. I cherry-picked this one for myself off of nothing but the cover. So I'm patting myself on the back. I know what I like. You know, you get a feel for it after, you know, dedicating so much time in the last few years to reading everything. But this story is called Dead Girl Walking. I saw this cover image and it looked like a beautiful watercolor painting. It's right up my alley. My favorite art style ever. I'm like, this is gorgeous. I'm going to read this one. And I think I even put it on our New Year's resolution reads.
I think you did, yeah.
But like, I had already known I was going to have to go in deep because even though it's on Manta, it's gem only. So I knew I was going to have to buy it. So automatically had to give up the not putting money into Manta.
You had no choice.
I had no choice. Now I put in money literally everywhere. But this is a romance fantasy. It's on Manta and it's ongoing every Friday with 30 episodes. So it's actually pretty quick to catch up on. But the episodes have a substantial amount to them. So it's been a good return for my money so far. The story is just so sweet. And I couldn't love it more. It's about Heian. She's the main character. She's just a high school student, and you see her in the beginning having a crush on this guy that she barely knows. She's seen him from a distance. He's friends with her friends, Siren and Yunam. And so she's like, oh, maybe we'll meet each other, you know, at like a similar function. We'll go to like a party at the same time. And they just their paths never directly cross. They'll like pass each other in the hallway and they know of each other, but they don't know each other.
Yeah.
And she just kind of admires from a distance, says, you know, maybe once we graduate, We can go to the same college. Like maybe if it's meant to be, we'll see each other in some way. And unfortunately, that's not what happens. He misses his exams because he gets really sick. And so he has to take a gap year between high school and college to do a cram school and retake all of his exams and like make sure that he can get into the college first. So Haeyeon is really sad that they won't run into each other at college because she and Siren and Yeonam, they're all going to the same school. And she's like, man, that would have been my chance, you know? But she gets there and she's trying to adjust to college life. And she even gets lost on the way to college. Mm-hmm. She's like, I can't find the train station. I'm going to be late and I'm going to miss my train. And I think everyone's had those travel problems if you've traveled before.
Especially with trains.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And so she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, what if, you know, I miss it? And so the person who comes up behind her and is like, hey, are you lost? Is Yongjin, the guy that she's been having a crush on. Mm-hmm. So he walks with her to the station. He's like, I'll take you there. Make sure that you get there safe. And they're talking about, you know, she's going to be starting school. She's super excited. He's talking about how that's the school he hopes to go to and how he hopes that in a year they can see each other. And she's just super touched by this. She's like, yes, I'm going to see him in a year. I just have to hold out for a year. It's fine. And he gets her to the train station and she starts her college life. She does start out. She's living with her friend Siren. And randomly she gets this piece of mail and it's 10 train tickets. And she's like, I don't know what I need 10 train tickets for. And then she starts looking at that even further. And they're train tickets, but the arrival date and time is a year in the future. And then like as you go up in tickets, it's an additional year. So like she can see on her first ticket that if she goes, she's supposedly going to arrive that same day, but a year in the future. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, right. But it goes back to my hometown. So like, I guess I can go.
Wait, so like the ticket starts now and will arrive in a year, or she's not supposed to use it until a year from now?
Oh no, she's going to use it now and she's supposedly going to time travel a year into the future.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. But then like as the tickets go up in number, like her 8th ticket is going to take her 8 years in the future when she takes that trip.
Yeah.
And it's set for her to be at wherever she's going for 8 hours.
And then she'll come back?
And then she'll come back to the past.
Okay.
So she's like, whatever. And she thinks about throwing them away. And she's like, you know what? School's been hard. I'm just going to take one of these trips. And her friend Siren is calling her. She's like, hey, An, where are you? And she goes, I'm on a train to the future. Siren's like, are you okay?
Have you been watching Back to the Future?
Is the stress of college getting to you?
Have you made friends with a disgraced nuclear physicist?
Exactly. So she's taking this train and all of a sudden the train starts to wobble and her phone connection cuts off. And when she gets there, she's like looking at the date and time and it's a year in the future. Mm-hmm. So she's like, oh my God, this is incredible. I'm in the future. And you know, as girls who kind of like get their crush in their mind and can't think of anything else, they're like, I'm just gonna like see if I can find Yongjin because, you know, I liked him a lot and, you know, maybe we could like meet up now that he's gonna be at the college supposedly. And she does. She finds him like out and about at college. And she's like, hey, oh my gosh, it's so great to run into you again. We should hang out. We should do all this stuff. And Yongjin is like, okay, that sounds great. They have like this wonderful day together. They're exploring around. He's asking her about college. She's like, you should join this club and you should do all this. This is what I'm doing my first year. And he texts his friend Yeonam, their mutual friend, to be like, guess who I'm with? Haeyeon. And Yeonam responds and he goes, is this a joke? That's not funny. And he sends Yongjin a picture of Haeyeon's obituary.
Oh my gosh.
And so Yongjin is completely confused. He's like, is this a joke? Like, how did he come up with that obituary so fast? Like, this is weird. And she's like, I just hate to tell you this. She's like, I might be crazy, but I think I just took a train to the future because I got these random tickets and like, it's whatever. Like, don't worry about it. And she's like, but I'm coming here from like this same day, but a year in the past.
So does he tell her that About the obituary?
He goes back and forth on it at first, and he goes, I'm not going to tell her. We had a nice time, and if I never see her again, I want it to be like a good memory because I've kind of pined for her too.
Yeah.
So he doesn't tell her right away. And she goes, I've got 9 more of these tickets. I hope that I can see you 2 years in the future now when I make my next trip. So Youngjin's like, okay, cool. And you see him like really struggling. He drops her back off at the train station and he's like, do I tell her that she's dead? Like, that's kind of a weird way to talk to somebody you barely know.
Yeah.
Especially when you kind of just went on your first little date excursion together.
Oh my gosh.
So she goes back to the past, not knowing any of this. And she's like, I'm going to take my next train ticket and I'm going to go. So she goes 2 years in the future. And she arrives and she has another great day with Yongjin. But at the very beginning of their visit, he goes, hey, An, you're dead. You died in an electrical fire in your building because it was old. And you were the only person who didn't make it out. And I don't want you to die because I want to keep seeing you. So, like, please try to avoid it.
Oh my gosh.
And she starts freaking out at first. Like, she thinks about just going back to the past. But she's like, can you change the past? And so there's all these twists and turns of not only is she getting to go for these 8 hours to spend the time with Yongjin and to, you know, enjoy the time in the future that she didn't get in this current life, I guess. But also she's trying to find a way to prevent her death because she wants to experience everything in the future with Yongjin, with her friends, with her family. She sees her family in mourning. And like, she just becomes determined. She's like, I don't think that my fate is sealed. I think that I can change things. So she starts making it her mission to not only try to change things for herself, like take into account like what the date is that she's supposed to die and go, I'm not going to be in the apartment that day, but also like look at all these other people and like try to help them. She like looks up a murder victim and she's like, your ex-boyfriend is going to come to your house today and you need to not see him because he's going to stab you.
So is she changing their fates?
Some of them yes and some of them no. So she's like, the future can be changed, but it's kind of a toss-up. Like it's up to the other people to like take the information and follow it. And so it's just like the coolest concept, very like fantasy sci-fi kind of aspects. And it also, if you've ever seen the show Loki, where they have like the time police, she gets on their nerves because they're like, all these different timelines are being created now and we need to like zip it up and make sure that only the one timeline is happening. But it is just the most beautiful story. It's so emotional. And there are just so many like good twists and turns. Every single episode, I'm like, the art is gorgeous. The story's gorgeous. I'm crying. You're crying. To the ghost in my room while I'm reading it.
Oh my gosh.
It is so good. And it's not like anything that I've read before, which is just extra special.
Yeah, I was going to say that sounds very unique. I mean, that sounds so good.
Yeah, I'm so glad I own it.
I'm so glad you do too.
Worth all of the gems. So if you're like, hey, I don't know if I need these gems, you do.
Manta is changing their system too, so that like now with your subscription, you do get some gems.
Yeah, if you do the subscription, it's on like a monthly basis now.
Yeah.
Still significantly cheaper than everywhere else.
Yeah.
To read like all of their unlimited stories. But then you also get like a buffer of gems every month.
Yeah.
That you can either save up because they don't expire, or, you know, you can just continuously unlock stories as you need to. I love it. I'm reading it for the rest of forever until it's completed, and then I'll reread it again. But it has been such a good time. I'm so happy we're finally dwindling down some of these stories.
Me too.
It is so cathartic. And they're all so good. They were on the TBR for a reason.
Yeah.
We have good taste. Maybe that's just me trying to like make peace with it. That I've purchased way too many stories.
I mean, look, here's the thing. We did it, and now we have all of these great stories and we're going to have them forever.
It's true. And you all will have us ranting about them forever. So
you're welcome.
Yes. But thank you all so much for joining us on this episode. Looking forward to talking to you all on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.